What is going on, guys, and welcome back to our last week 5 game on the channel. This week we've got the Blackthorn City Beartics versus the Southside Scorbunnys. Now, Nick at the Blackthorn City Beartics currently undefeated and steamrolling the league, absolutely steamrolling the league. Galen, on the other hand, has been going on and off, win-loss, win-loss. He's on 2 wins, 2 losses, so smack bang in the middle of that playing field. Nick on 4-0, absolutely smashing it. They've got 2 really good teams. I'm not going to prevent you from getting into the action, so let's hop right in. Okay, here we go. We've got the Porygon, Tornadus, Crocodile, Chandelure, and the Azumarill versus Amphwaki versus a Ninetales, Togekiss, Urshifu, Lycanroc Midday, Venusaur, and the Sableye. Now, I'm not against this lead of Lumiere. Throwing Bubbles in the Azumarill against a Chlorophyll Venusaur is kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. But a Chandelure in the Sun will do massive amounts of damage. We've seen it from Focus Sash before. Focus Sash, usually a good item on Chandelure. That or a Choice Scarf, or even a Choice Specs if you're running some redirection. On the Scorbunny side, what do you lead to counter this? I mean, a Crocodile with Intimidate, you're going to want to bring at least some special in there. Maybe run a Togetic. Or not, I said Togekiss earlier. Togetic for redirection, and maybe a Venusaur. Togetic does have the ability for weathers, I believe. But we're about to find out, so here we go. Will Nick keep his unbeaten run going? We're going into game 1. Here we go, boys and girls. Sprocket and Doggy versus Bubbles and Lumiere. So we've got to expect maybe a fake out from this Sableye here into the Azumarill. It's just, will the Accelerock won't kill Chandelure, so Nick's going to be thinking about this. He's going to think about this real close. Let's see what he wants to go for. I mean, Bubbles is okay to protect here. I didn't see the item on it. Oh, it's Choice Band. Okay, so it won't be protecting anytime soon. He is going to swap in the Genie. And yeah, you get a free attack off. Is he going to go the double switch? Maybe to try and... I'm not against this. Get the Intimidate off on the Lycanroc, because the Lycanroc, if it does have a Life Orb with its Tough Claws ability, it's already at 1.6 on every physical attack it does. Sableye as well with access to Quash is definitely worth thinking about. So there comes in the Intimidate. And another switch into the Genie. So let's see what Galen's gone ahead and done for first turn. He has done the fake out, as to be expected. And a Rock Slide. So a good prediction here from Galen. Just going for spread. And that, even with the Intimidate drop, that Rock Slide doing massive amounts to Nick's Tornadus. A Tailwind will be a good play here. Get that Crocodile moving first. But, oh, I was about to say, but the Prankster Quash. The Prankster Quash won't matter because the Crocodile's Dark type. So, let's see what this Sableye does. Maybe, I don't know if it gets screened. I believe it does. It's going for the Will-O-Wisp. It won't affect because of the Dark type. In comes the Crocodile, and down goes the dog. No Focus Sash to see on the Lycanroc, which is it. I mean, it's been normal for Galen to not run that Focus Sash on his dog because he's been running it on Urshifu a lot. But I do think that it definitely needs it. It 100% needs it. So what's Galen going to send out here? I believe this is the Ninetales. Okay, yes. So, in comes the Sun. We did see the Rain Dance on the Thunderous, keep calling it Thunderous, Tornadus. Which would be an okay play. will completely nullify it. The thing is that Ninetales normally packs Weather Ball the same as what the Genie is packing. It's just, do you play All My Friends Are Dead with the Sableye? It's obviously not doing a lot. It could, I imagine a knockoff's coming out. Because the Sableye can't really do much to this Crocodile. And it's already intimidated as well. And maybe I could see a Heat Wave coming out here as well. Fishing for burns on that Crocodile. It's got a massive attack stat. Definitely needs to be dealt with sooner rather than later for Galen. Galen's definitely taking his time with his turns, thinking them through. Maybe will we see a swap in for a Venu? I believe this is a Venu. Maybe expecting a ground type move to come in. The Shadow Sneak does connect. It's not going to do a lot. It's intimidated from a very low attack stat. The Air Slash lands onto the Sableye. Doesn't do a vast amount of damage, and this high horsepower will be resisted. Oh, it's not resistant, sorry. It's not resistant, it does massive amounts. Is it? Oh, it's because of the poison type. It's because of the poison type. So in the sun, Venusaur probably not moving first, because Nick still has a Tailwind up, I believe. I wonder if Galen has taken this into account. Game 1 going super well for Nick so far. Since the double switching and the pivot, it's definitely playing out way better. He does get the Giga Drain off. And that does take Queen Mean down to a sliver. But I imagine an Air Slash will take this out. Knockoff is good. See the item. Once it's fainted, that is. It was a Citrus Berry, so that was the right play. And an Air Slash will probably take this Venusaur down. It will. Massive amount of damage for that Tornadus right there. So we do know that Galen's last mon is a Ninetales, and this is not appreciating this situation right here. I believe this is... It depends if Nick wants to try and play around and keep the 4-0 alive. I'm not sure if a high horsepower will take it down, but he could play for Air Slash flinches as well, like we've seen before. It's all down to Galen now, maybe dropping a Protect. Scouting out some moves, seeing if we can reveal a 4th move slot. The Air Slash does connect. And it does over half, so this high horsepower is definitely killing. There we go. And a sweet 4-0 for Nick. Wow, I did not expect that game 1. I really did not expect that game 1. Since that first turn pivot, which looked like a really good turn for Galen in terms of landing the Rock Slide on the Genie. So what are we going to see now? I don't believe Nick needs to swap anything here. You've just 4-0'd your opponent. Let them do the swip and swapping around. See if they can find an answer to what you've got. So do we see anything different? We don't. So it looks like Nick is probably going to go the same 4. That same 4 was not threatened whatsoever. He is thinking about it. It's always good to use your time. But, I mean, once you've come from such a dominant first game victory, I don't see any reason why you should have to swap up. Given we saw that the Chandelier lead with the Azumarill, looking on Galen's side, you're probably wanting to lead Venu 9 just to get that instant boost off. Obviously, he doesn't know that the Chandelier is Focus Sash, as he didn't get any hits off. And it does kind of leave the Azumarill open to maybe a Giga Drain, but I don't think a Giga Drain's touching it. It definitely won't OHKO. Let's see what Galen's got to think about this. I do think Galen could do with some redirection as well. So, here we go, game 2. Let's see if any improvements come through. Here we go. So Galen has sent out the Sableye and the Urshifu. So I believe we're going to see first turn fake out into the Azumarill. And then Nick's now got to be a little careful. I feel like this Urshifu is not the one to have the double hit moves. This is just a Wicked Blow. So he will live on a... It will crit, but it'll live on his Focus Sash. And in turn, he can deal back major damage. He can't protect because obviously Urshifu's ability will go through protect, so there's no need to protect here. Swapping into the Crocodile is a great play. Getting that Intimidate off. Hacking the Assault Vest as well for any... Well, that's probably why it lived the Giga Drain. You can thank the Assault Vest for the Giga Drain live. I'd be interested to see what Galen does here. Maybe expecting that double switch in after game 1. Maybe get a free pivot. So we do see the Azumarill come back. And in comes the Intimidate onto mainly the Urshifu. I mean, granted, you could say that onto the Shadow Sneak for the Sableye as well. We do see the Fake Out into that slot. And we do see a Wicked Blow. Now, which slot has he gone into? He has gone into the Chandelure, which will live on the Focus Sash. Now, the question is, what is this Heat Wave going to do back? The Heat Wave does land on both targets. And it does a fair whack. And it burns the wrong one. Sableye will now get the Citrus Berry Pop. I'm not sure it still lives a knockoff. Well, it might now. It doesn't have an item. Nick in a bit of a sticky situation in terms of speed. Especially now Sableye has Shadow Sneak. So that Chandelure is probably going to die. You can expect a Shadow Sneak into that slot. He does have Protect to try and buy a turn. But he could also double into the Crook. And a knockoff on the Crook would be kind of devastating. So it does look like Nick is going to go for the Protect, knowing that the Shadow Sneak is going into that slot. And a low kick. Okay. Times 4 effective. I imagine we'll see the Shadow Sneak into the slot. Yes. Fairly obvious play right there. And will this close combat kill? It does. Through the Intimidate. Wow. Nick in a very sticky situation here. Very sticky situation. It's now going to be, can this Urshifu take it home? If I'm Galen here, the thing is, you can't leave the Chandelure there to just Heat Wave. You can't. So you can't really predict the Quash onto the Genie. And especially because you're expecting a Tailwind as well. Then the Chandelure will go first. I believe this is the correct play from Nick. He's taking his time, he's thinking it through. Galen knows that this Genie is not Focus Sash. So let's see what happens here. We do see the swap into the Azumarill. And we do see the Shadow Sneak, which is fairly obvious. Now what happens? So the Urshifu does go first into the Genie, and it lives on a sliver. Air Slash comes in, and this will be Urshifu gone. A good turn for Nick. Is taking a lot of damage onto the Genie, but doesn't really matter because he can get a free Tailwind off this turn. What would be really nasty for Nick now is seeing a Venusaur. Galen having a really good think about this. So he's definitely swapped something up. I'm expecting the Ninetales and the Venusaur in the back. This is a problem with going hardcore weather, is that people can prep really well around it. Agnotic. So we do see the Togetic. Not... I wonder why he's brought that and the Sableye. I mean, he must feel like the Sableye is needed for the Fake Out, but this Togetic, I'm not sure what it's doing here. I mean, it can Dazzling Gleam and it will take out the Genie. It probably also gets access to Thunderbolt, which will do well on Azumarill, but Azumarill's HP stat is just so big. Nick thinking about what he wants to lock himself into here. He has got a switch in, so as long as he preserves that switch in, the problem is that this Tornadus is not going to last long. He does get the Tailwind off. I imagine we see a Shadow Sneak. He does go for the Will-O-Wisp, and it lands on the Azumarill. A massive play there from Galen. Having that attack stat, which will make this Togekiss absolutely tank that Ice Punch, and that's from a Choice Band, and that's a critical hit. Mystical Fire comes in, and will take out the Genie. What a play from Galen on that turn. Expertly played. So Nick in a very sticky situation here, where Chandelure goes down to a Shadow Sneak, and this Azumarill is effectively neutralized. But it's not over yet. It's definitely not over yet. Nick identifying that the Sableye is the problem. The obvious play is a Shadow Sneak. Ignotic using Follow Me. Yeah, so Galen keeping that Shadow Sneak alive. So, for me, Galen must know he has an answer for this Azumarill. If he's clicking Follow Me there, he must know he's got an answer for this Azumarill in the back. That Citrus Berry coming in clutch at the start of the game. That Sableye is still in the green. Nick probably having to go for double protect here. Will he get it? Let's have a look. I'm expecting another Follow Me and a Shadow Sneak coming in. It might even just be worth attacking at this point. In fact, no. Nick has still got the Tailwind up. These two are burning the Tailwind very well. He does get the double protect. The Ice Punch comes in, and Ignotic goes down. So it's definitely not over yet. Galen's still in a sticky situation. Well, Nick's still in a sticky situation, but it depends on what Galen's got in the back. Does he have an answer for an Azumarill? This is going to be close. This is going to be real close. Now, I believe, because the question mark's out there, that Nick has run out of Tailwind. So a Rock Slide will take them both out. So will Galen go for the Quash? No, there's no need to go for the Quash, because that dog will definitely outspeed. Nick does not get the Protect, so the Shadow Sneak is a correct play. There goes Lumiere. And now it's a 1 versus 2 situation. Single target Rock Slide, and Nick's just going to hope for no flinches. That does more damage than I expected. And the dog takes it like a champ, especially now it's burned. So I think this is 1-1. We're going into a 1-1. Oh, the Tailwind has just petered out. So the Quash could have been a good play, but the dog's still outsped. Here comes the Shadow Sneak to guarantee. Oh, it's not a lot of damage. So if this Rock Slide misses, it doesn't, it connects, and there we go. Galen taking game 2. Not so smooth sailing as the game 1 was for Nick. So the question is now, does Nick change up what he's doing? He's seen the Lycan Rock twice. He hasn't revealed much on his Azumarill. Will he maybe go Thwacky, Grassy Glide? I feel like Thwacky has a good matchup. Sableye's not doing much. And he's not running Assault Vest. He's not running Eviolite, so the Sableye doesn't do much. The Chandelure does come again, which I believe is the right play. The Chandelure gets massive damage off. What was the problem in Game 2 for Nick? Did he just let go of the Crocodile too fast? The Urshifu did a lot of work. He is hovering over the Thwacky, and I think it's the right play. Pick the Genie and Queen Mean. So, no, he's going the same 4. He's just leading the Tornadus this time. So here we go. Gotta love a Game 3. I think we've seen more Game 3s this season than both seasons combined. Season 1 and 2 combined. So what are we going to see here? Sprocket and Jackie Chan. So the lead that worked for Galen has come out again. Nick probably expecting it, well, the fake out into the Genie slot again. Doesn't have Protect. So maybe thinking about a swap here. He's hovering over Rain Dance. I believe he clicked Heat Wave, so I don't think that was the play. Or that is the play. So he's got to think about what's coming out here. Like, what could take a close combat? Or what could take a Wicked Blow? If he doesn't get the Intimidate off as well, he's facing down a full power Urshifu. So in comes the Azumarill. Fake out into the only slot he can fake out. And a Wicked Blow, I imagine, into the Chandelure again. So an almost repeat of turn 1 in Game 2. We see that it is critical hit as always, and it takes it down to the Sash. And we've got another Heat Wave coming back, and the Urshifu avoids! What a turn for Galen. Now Nick is probably locked into this protect cycle. I believe this is where you should bring the Intimidate in. You've got enough rotation that you can get at least 1 or 2 attacks off with your Azumarill before having to reset the choice band. And he's looking at that play rough, and I think that's the right play. Getting that Urshifu out of the way. Galen does bring it back. Great reads. Massively good reads there. In comes the Crocodile, so this Intimidate, not doing too much, obviously nullifying the Sableye Shadow Sneak. He does go for the Will-O-Wisp onto the Azumarill. So again, the Azumarill being nullified, its Choice Band being taken away through the burn. Play Rough not doing a lot. Nothing at all. So Galen definitely having a game plan here, knowing exactly what to do with that Azumarill, just getting that burn off straight away. That Sableye providing so much support. Let's see what Nick can do with it. I definitely think Nick has to deal with the Sableye straight away, especially now it's in that sort of like weird range where it might die. Oh, in comes in the Urshifu. And follow me to keep that Urshifu alive and bring it back in. So knockoff, probably knocking off the Eviolite. Now that Togetic isn't as chunky as it once was, and still takes the hit. So Nick's got to be expecting another follow me here. But granted that the Crocodile can probably take this down, it might be a play. I also like this as well, predicting a close combat into the Crocodile, throwing the Ghost type out there. And he is locked into Play Rough. So this is a good play. You're killing at least one Mon, if you see a follow me or not. Nick not having speed control this game might come back to bite him. Let's see if he's called it right, and let's see if we get a close combat flying into that slot. Galen opting to keep the Urshifu at full. We do see a Poison Jab into the Azumarill, and it lives on 23! So Galen's redirect now gone, but the Azumarill is in range of a Shadow Sneak. Both of these two are in range of Shadow Sneak. With no speed control, Nick's in a sticky situation here. Galen having a real good think about this. He's got to get these next 2 turns right. If he has the Lycanroc, he might be in good stead. A Rock Slide here. There it is. There it is. You've got to be expecting a double switch. Or Nick's just going to let them both go. And see if the Crook and the Genie can do the business. Like, what else are you getting out of this Azumarill? The Chandeler's pretty good if you get the Tailwind up. But you're just taking extra damage. You know a Rock Slide's coming in here. Will he opt to preserve it? So Galen swapping into the Sableye. Again, still at that range where the Citrus Berry is close to popping. Nick getting a good read to get the Intimidate off on both of these. Crocodile might just take him for the game. Nick does get the protect off, so we're just going to see a rock slide here, I imagine. Yes. Not doing anything to this Crocodile. This Crocodile, safe from the Will-O-Wisp, will probably get a good knockoff onto this Sableye. Just depends on what else is on that Lichen Rock. Rock Slide flinches could be a problem. Nick with a bit more momentum here on this turn. He is opted to get that Lichen Rock out of the way. We do see the fake out. And the Rock Slide pops off. Great plays from Galen. Nick losing the Lumiere, the Chandelure, but not too much of a problem here. Getting that free swap in is definitely an advantage. He knows that the Azumarill's got one attack left, and you can't send in the Azumarill while the Sableye is scaring it off with a bit of a Shadow Sneak. It doesn't matter how much speed you got. If that Shadow Sneak hits, it's probably doing enough. So I'm starting to wonder maybe Galen might be a choice item on this Lichen Rock. He's only ever gone for Rock Slide. He hasn't revealed anything else. I know this thing gets Play Rough. It also gets like Ice Fang. So the Lichen Rock definitely has coverage, but the fact that he's just clicking Rock Slide makes me think he's choiced. We haven't seen any misplays this game either. We haven't seen any almost trying to prankster a Dark type, or they've both played out of their skins in this last game. So that must be choice itemed. In comes the Urshifu, and the Urshifu isn't going to appreciate this at all. Shadow Sneak not doing anything. The high horsepower doing almost half. Nick in a commanding position now. Massively commanding situation where he's got the two from the first game that Galen didn't really have an answer for. Sableye practically can't touch this Crocodile, so Nick has only got to target one slot. He does know that the knockoff will kill from this range. We saw it in game 1. So Sableye dying. Not getting to use its Citrus Berry like it did in game 2. Nick making all these nice little adjustments here to pivot the game in his favour. And the Genie, oh, it lives on 3! There has to be no way! I think that just won Nick the game. Galen down to just a Lichen Rock with no Focus Sash. And I believe this will be a 3-0 to Nick. The Tailwind's behind him. There's no point swapping because you lose the... Not against the Rain Dance here, guaranteeing that the Weather Ball goes off next turn. He's going to Rock Slide. He's just... We know that will this high horsepower crit? There goes the Rain Dance. Trying to get the Weather Ball off, but also powering up the Aqua Jet when the Azumarill comes in. He does have a Cell Rock. He does have a Cell Rock. High horsepower, will it kill? It does. So Nick taking the 2-0. Galen sneaking a cheeky kill at the end. But what an amazing game. GG's to both Nick and Galen. Nick remaining undefeated. I believe Galen going 2-3. So completely in that mid-table slot. Amazing games. What more can you say? Another game free. These games have just been going all the way throughout this week, last week. I can't count. I can't imagine to count how many game threes we've actually gone through. But Nick is still on the run to be the first undefeated regular season champion, and Galen well in it for playoffs on his first ever season in the CCC. GG's to both of you guys, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!